Want to learn generative AI in a very easy and intuitive way? You are at the right place. So, what is generative AI? If you see, everyone is talking about generative AI in recent time, but what exactly it is? Generative AI is a type of AI that can generate various type of content including text, images, audio, video, etc. Right? But the next question is, what is AI? So let's understand this. AI is a branch of computer science which deals with the creation of intelligent systems that learn, act on their own. It is basically getting computers to think and learn like human. There are several ways in AI through which we can make intelligent systems. Machine learning is one such way. So, what is machine learning? A lot of people confuse AI and machine learning. Machine learning is a subfield of AI where we make intelligent system by using data. So instead of giving a computer a set of rules to follow, we feed a large amount of data and the system figure out the rules on its own and become intelligent. So the system is trained with the data, it is able to make certain prediction in the future. Now the next question you will have is, how do the system learn from the data? You might be thinking why I'm telling you all this, why I'm not straight coming to the generative AI. But believe me, everything will make sense in 3 or 4 minutes. So there are two fundamental learning approaches in machine learning through which a system can learn from the data. One is supervised learning and another is unsupervised learning. So, what is supervised learning? Let's understand that first. Supervised learning is a method to train a model using labeled data. Here, the data which you are training your model will have labels. Imagine this example. There are a lot of houses. Each house is as a label of what city it belongs, what is the carpet area, what is the price of that house. See, each house has a tag of city, carpet, and a price. Imagine we have thousands of such data points. In real life, also, a builder would see thousands of such data points in entire life, and based on that, he would be able to tell approximately what would be the price of the house given its city and carpet area, correct? And we call it the builder is having experience in that domain. That is why he is able to tell the price. So, can we create such intelligence in a machine? That is, if we give data related to the new house, the model will be able to predict the price of any new house given its city and carpet area. Yes, we can do that. We can train a model on the past data, thousands of such label. This is called model training. Now, for any new house, the model will be able to predict the price of that. That is how the supervised learning will look like. Now, see how the model training will look like. So, you have thousands of labeled data, correct? What you do is input some of the labeled data for which you already know the price and check what the model is predicting. If the model prediction is far off the actual value, then you get the error. You feed this error back into the model and update the model to minimize the error. And you did this till the time the predicted value is close to the actual value. Once you have done that, then any data which is not even the part of the training data can be inputted into this model and the model will give you output with reasonable good accuracy. I hope you are able to get this one. Now moving on to unsupervised learning. So in unsupervised learning, we don't have any labeled data. There are no tags, no labels, nothing. The machine itself finds the pattern and structure in the data and cluster it. Imagine now we have a lot of houses, the model will be input with the data and it will find the pattern, finally found the cluster and the relationship in the data. This is helpful identifying hidden patterns in the data. For example, grouping customer with similar purchase habits, right? I hope you are able to get how unsupervised learning is different from supervised learning. So till now we have discussed about AI, machine learning, supervised and unsupervised learning, correct? Although supervised and unsupervised learning are good, but they have some limitations. For example, in supervised learning, it is good to train the model with reasonable accuracy, but it is time consuming to identify labels. If you remember in the last example of house price prediction, we use carpet area, city. There can be other labels as well, like amenities, neighborhood on which the price will depend, right? So there can be hundreds of such parameters, but who will come up with them? In this case, it would require domain expertise as well. Someone from the real estate industry might know better about the factors which will affect the pricing, correct? But on the other side, in supervised learning, we can identify hidden pattern. So imagine if we leverage both supervised and unsupervised learning to create a very robust model. That is what a deep learning is. So deep learning is a subfield of machine learning where we can leverage both supervised learning, that is labeled data, and unsupervised learning, that is from unlabeled data, to train out our model and make it more powerful. This is called semi-supervised learning. Here, labeled data will help the model to learn about basic concept, and unlabeled data to find out the hidden pattern and generalize to new instances. Here, deep learning use artificial neural network to learn from complex data in a way inspired by our human brain. Like our brain, they are interconnected with lot of neurons, or you can call it nodes, like you can see in this picture. Deep learning models can have many layers of neurons. In a deep neural network, this is neural network, the input layer receives the data, which passes through the hidden layer that transform the data, and the final output layer generates the model prediction. I hope you get my point. Now we have finally get into a generative AI. So generative AI is subset of deep learning, which means it use artificial neural network and process both labeled data and unlabeled data and create robust models which are capable of creating new data. Now you are able to understand how generative AI fits in all of these AI paradigm. Without deep learning, we would not have the powerful model capable of generating realistic images, text, and other form of the data. I hope all the dots are getting connected with this. But let's understand this. Machine learning model can be of two types: generative models or discriminative models. Generative AI is built upon generative models. These models aim to learn underlying probabilistic distribution of the data. What does this mean? This means generative models learn about how was this data generated, and using this they are able to generate new samples, correct? On the other hand, discriminative models focus on learning the boundaries between the classes or the categories. So they aim to predict the probability of a data point belonging to certain category or the class. So, in a nutshell, generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that uses deep learning model to create new content such as text, images, music, or code by learning the underlying pattern and the structure of existing data. Now, I think you have a better understanding of what is generative AI. Finally, let's think about the different type of generative AI models. One can be text to text generative AI model. I hope everyone is using GPT, Llama, Claude. Another one can be text to image generative AI model. For example, imagine 3 minute journey. Likewise, there are different type of generative AI model that are available in the market. So this is how generative AI fits in the overall AI scheme of things. I hope you have learned something new in this video. I will meet you into the next one. Till then, keep learning and keep watching.